You're gonna be a bad motherfucker.
He's part policeman and he's part machine. Toughest cop you've ever seen. When fighting crime, he comes out on top because he's Robocop.
Greetings, fanboys and fangirls. I'm Erod and I'm the Blockbuster Buster. One of the greatest action icons of the 80s still remains Robocop. In a futuristic, crime-ridden Detroit, Officer Alex Murphy is killed in the line of duty, but Omni Consumer Products brings him back to life as Robocop, part man, part machine, all cop.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
This mechanical Jesus metaphor is here to fight crime, throw scumbags through glass, and shoot rapists in the dick. Robocop remains one of the greatest genre films ever made and one of the fanboy essentials. Unfortunately, everything that followed the original movie wasn't quite up to par. So, without further ado, these are the top 10 ridiculous Robocop moments.
Number 10.
Throughout the film franchise, Robocop faced some fierce opponents. Ed 209, Kane, Clarence Boddicker.
Just give me my fucking phone call.
But the one that showed the most promise was the Japanese cyborg Automo. The build-up for this character was huge. Every moment he's on screen, he makes it very clear that he is one bad motherfucker, making you salivate in anticipation for the moment when he clashes with Robocop, as he is faster, deadlier, and more advanced than Robocop in every way. Right at the beginning of the fight, he already has Robocop on the ropes, and right as he is moving in for his final death blow, any minute now. I appreciate the dramatic tension, but come on! If you don't hurry the fuck up, he's gonna shoot you right in the... What? Oh, he shows up again at the end? Oh, the second round is bound to be better than the first.
Stop them! Stop them!
Let's just move on.
Number 9.
In the second installment of the series, demented drug lord Kane is given his own deadly cybernetic body. So in this particular scene where he is taking out some of OCP's enemies, he runs into a former acquaintance of his, from back when he was human, Angie. Angie's solution to being confronted by a giant killer robot? To seduce it!
I've been really trying, baby, trying to hold back this feeling for so long. And if you feel like...
Now, I have nothing against robosexuality. God knows there are plenty of really well-built synthoids out there. But what part of Giant Killer Robot said sexy time to you?
Let's get it on.
Who knows? Maybe those two crazy kids can make it work.
Let's get it on.
Oh! Never mind. I guess this is as good a time as any to point out some of the weird coincidental similarities between the Robocop movies and the Iron Man franchise.
Number 8.
Robocop is a master at high-speed pursuits. No matter the perp, Robocop will catch up to him. One of his least dignified chases comes when going after OCP mercenary McDaggett, who takes off at full speed on an OCP van. Robocop follows in a Pimpmobile.
Enough for this crap! I'm catching the next Pimpmobile out of here!
Like no birds you can't see. Then I'm a motherfucking B.I.M.B.
Now, I wouldn't complain about this scene if the Pimpmobile was truly his only choice. But there was a police motorcycle parked right in front of the motel where they were at, which is a lot faster and more maneuverable than...
Then I'm a motherfucking...
Number 7.
One of the attributes that makes Robocop such an effective law enforcement officer on the rough streets of Detroit is his near invulnerability. Robocop has been riddled with bullets, blown up, electrocuted, set on fire, and yet he keeps coming. Surely any conventional attacks would prove ineffective, right?
Can't shoot a kid, can you, fucker?
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours. Damn right, it's better than yours. I could teach you, but I have to charge. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours. Damn right, it's better than yours. I could teach you, but I have to charge.
One shot to the head. One! The only thing weirder than this is the odd series of cameos in these movies. You have screw-loose comic book writer Frank Miller as a drug cook. The first movie's director Paul Verhoeven as a dancer in a club. Ah! Was that really Paul Verhoeven? Oh, okay, I believe you. But the weirdest cameo is Bill Farmer as a news reporter. And who is Bill Farmer, you might ask? He's Goofy! Goofy is delivering the news in Robocop!
Gosh, howdy everybody, this is your old pal Goofy coming to you from B-23.
Number 6.
The plot of Robocop 2. You're gonna want me to elaborate, aren't you? Alright, here we go. The plot is this. OCP has huge plans for Detroit, but their cybernetic crime fighters' violent activities are making them look bad in the eyes of parent watch groups.
For all the shooting he does, I've never once seen him take the time to do anything nice.
Their solution is to build another Robocop. And I know, it already sounds pretty stupid to try and solve a problem with the same thing that is causing the initial problem. But believe it or not, this is not the ridiculously stupid part. Apparently, no other dead police officer subjected to Project Robocop 2 has survived the psychological trauma of the experience. Apparently, Murphy's strong sense of duty granted him the capability to accept having his brain crammed in a robot body. So because OCP can't find another dead police officer with a strong sense of duty, their psychiatrist Dr. Fax decides to use the brain of a criminal. But not just any criminal, Kane, the sickest, most demented, murdering, drug-pushing psychopath in all of Detroit. This is the brain they decide to put inside a giant death machine. Yes, if a dedicated police officer was hard to control, a drug-addicted killer will be far more agreeable. What could possibly go wrong?
Everything you know is wrong. Black is white, up is down, and short is long. And everything you thought was just so important doesn't matter. Everything you know is wrong. Just forget the words and sing along. All you need to understand is everything you know is wrong.
Now, Robocop 2 and 3 were both written by everybody's comic book writing loony, Frank Miller.
Boobies.
Hence the cameo. Many have claimed that Miller's original script for Robocop 2 was actually better, but overambitious. So the studio took it, butchered it, and turned it into the movie that we know today. In 2003, Frank Miller's version of Robocop 2 was released in comic book form by Avatar Press. I had always heard how Frank Miller's version was superior, so I checked it out. And while it was a little bit better than Robocop 2, it was still not good. It's just packed with the same brand of sophomoric plot threads, cruel violence, and exploitive sexist bullshit that Frank Miller has come to be known for at the latter half of his career. What? we have to cut to commercial. Alright, we'll be right back after a few words from our friends at Omni Consumer Products.
I thought all communication systems were the same. I tried to save the company a few bucks. It took 2 days to download specs from Cleveland. Lost the account.
Criminals, give up. Surprise, Robocop. Meet your match.
Robocop and evil ED-260 face off with rapid repeat cap firing.
That should hold you. Calling the Robo-Jailer. Run away. You won't catch us.
But the Robo-Jailer smashes through their hideout.
You'll be hiding out in prison now.
Figures and vehicles sold separately.
Back for more?
Robocop and the Ultra Police.
Number 5.
As I said before, Ed 209 is one of Robocop's longest standing foes. The character was mostly used as a plot device to show why it was necessary to put a human brain in their crime prevention unit.
Please put down your weapon. You have 20 seconds to comply.
I think you'd better do what he says, Mr. Kenny.
You now have 15 seconds to comply. You are in direct violation of Penal Code 113, Section 9. You now have 5 seconds to comply. 4, 3, 2, 1. I am now authorized to use physical force.
But the ways in which Ed 209 is defeated get more and more humiliating as the movies progress. But the most embarrassing death blow is dealt by 9-year-old hacker Nico.
It's 209! He wasn't in the recon photos!
She simply walks in between his legs, plugs her laptop into his leg, and makes Ed 209 her bitch.
I am now authorized to be loyal as a puppy.
Frank Miller has always had a great reputation for creating capable, badass child characters. Nico is no exception, she is great. But damn, is this shit embarrassing.
Be loyal as a puppy.
Now at this time, a lot of you are probably wondering why I haven't used any moments from the short-lived live-action TV series. Well, the reason for that is that no moments from the TV show were ridiculous or stupid. They were just bad. I can honestly say that I do not feel comfortable recommending any episodes from the show or any of the made-for-TV movies that were connected to it. Avoid it at all costs.
The human factor. You can't program that into a machine.
Number 4.
The original movie does a fantastic job of showing how the crime in Detroit has gotten out of control, and why having Robocop around is necessary. Robocop 2 went really overboard with this crime wave, to the point where it's just flat out cartoony. The movie literally begins with a man robbing a homeless woman. A homeless woman! And right when you think that this couldn't get more over the top, the same man then gets beat up, maimed, and robbed by 2 skinny hookers. But that's not the truly ridiculous crime scene in this movie. Are you ready for this? Robocop and his partner Lois tried to foil an electronics store robbery by a pee-wee baseball team. And their gang leader is their coach. I don't know who wrote this, but...
Shit, he's fucked up.
You said it, kid.
Number 3.
Robocop the Animated Series.
Robocop.
Why the fuck is there a Robocop the Animated Series? This is one of the most violent and greedy films of all time. Why would they make a children's cartoon out of it? This is so ridiculous. You'd never see them make a cartoon out of Rambo.
Rambo.
Okay, well, you would never see them make a cartoon out of one of Chuck Norris's ultra-violent movies.
Chuck Norris stars in Chuck Norris Karate Commandos. Chuck Norris, he's got nerves of steel and strength to match.
The 80s were a very different time. You know what? Honestly, I don't know what's more perplexing, the fact that there is a Robocop the animated series, or that they made 2 Robocop animated series. That's right, they made another one in 1998. And this time Robocop apparently was upgraded by the same guys that designed Inspector Gadget, because they equipped him with a net launcher and roller skates. Ugh. You know what? I need to take a break from all this ridiculous stupidity. Let's talk about one of the positive things from the Robocop franchise. One of the coolest female heroines of all time and one of my personal nostalgic hotties. Nancy Allen as Officer Ann Lewis. Before Robocop, Nancy Allen was mostly typecasted as pretty girls with no personality or bubble-headed bimbos. This changed with Robocop, where she became the badass Officer Ann Lewis. To this day, her death scene in Robocop 3 remains one of the saddest scenes I have ever witnessed as a child. So I would like to take this moment to tribute her.
Lois, you're off. Lewis.
It's time to show how real cops kick ass.
Well, she's all you'd ever want. She's the kind I'd like to flaunt and take to dinner. But she always knows her place. She's got style, she's got grace. She's a winner. She's a lady. Whoa, 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 she's a lady. Talking about that little lady. And the lady is mine.
Lois, come here when you finish fucking around with your suspect. Get on your feet.
Number 2.
One of the recurring jokes throughout the Robocop franchise is that of commercialism, and how the general public is so easily swayed by the media.
I'd buy that for $1.
It's a good thing Robocop never subjected himself to that kind of ridiculous, embarrassing commercialism, because that would make the creators of the franchise look like hypocrites.
ほら、できた。正しい焼きそばは欲しいでしょ。
UFO、おやすみロボグッズプレゼント。
Okay, it's just one commercial. It's not that bad.
Lottehem, try the chicken.
Oh, Lottehem fried chicken.
Well, I hope at least one of the owners from one of these companies apologize to Robocop for besmirching his image. Alright, that's more like it. Whew, good thing that kind of shameful sponsoring doesn't happen anymore. You'd never see any of our modern superheroes subjecting themselves to stupid commercials.
Back to work.
Don't worry. The United States Postal Service will get it there on time with priority mail flat rate shipping.
Eat like you mean it.
Alright. At this point, a lot of you are probably wondering what could possibly be more ridiculous than Robocop starring in an UFO noodle commercial or a fried chicken commercial. Well, prepare yourselves, 'cause you might not believe your eyes.
Number 1.
In the mid-90s on World Championship Wrestling, Sting got ambushed by the Four Horsemen and put in a cage. Would you care to guess who came to his rescue? Robocop! Robocop came to his rescue! Apparently, helping a bleach blonde wrestler in a pair of Zubas out of a cage took priority over fighting crime. This was the last time I watched WCW. After seeing this embarrassing bit of nonsense, I pretty much gave up on the show. I don't know what else to say. I think this moment speaks for itself. So those are my top 10 ridiculous Robocop moments. I would like to once again encourage all of you to check out the original film, as it is one of the fanboy essentials. As far as my plans for the remake go, well, you're gonna have to stay tuned to find out. Until then, I'm Erod, and I'm the Blockbuster Buster. Join the Legion, suckers!
Back!
Thank you for not smoking.